February 18th, 2024, 2:47 a.m. Russian positions, Zaporizhzhia sector at first darkness. Complete. New moon. Cloud cover. Visibility. 0. Natural. Ukrainian SOF team. 8 operators. Moving, silently, toward Russian trench line. 400 meters away. Night vision. Thermal optics. Everything visible. Green glow. Heat signatures. Russian positions clear. Sentries standing. Rotating. Predictable. 2-hour shifts. Pattern observed. Days prior. Reconnaissance. Everything planned. Everything timed. Ukrainian team advances. Slowly. Crawling. Through no man's land. Mud. Cold. February. Silent. Completely. Suppressed weapons. Knives. Hands. Everything quiet. Mission. Eliminate Russian observation post. Capture intelligence. Withdraw. No trace. No survivors. No evidence. Ghost operation. Russian forces wake. Find positions empty. Bodies gone. Equipment missing. Fear spreads. Nowhere safe. Not even rear positions. Not even darkness. Ukrainian SOF. Hunting. Always SOS everywhere. Night raids. Systematic. Frequent. Effective. Demoralizing. Russian forces. Terrified. Sleep impossible. Sentries nervous. Trigger happy. Shooting shadows. Wasting ammunition. Morale degrading. All from night raids. Ukrainian SOF. Masters of darkness. Thermal optics. Silent kills. Ghost warfare. This is modern special operations. This is night raids. This is psychological warfare. Through precision. Through stealth. Through fear. Ukrainian SOF. Hunting Russians. In darkness. Successfully. Repeatedly. Lethally. The raid develops. Hours earlier, intelligence briefing. Russian observation post. Coordinates confirmed. Drone reconnaissance. Satellite imagery. Everything analyzed. Position identified. Sentries counted. Rotation observed. Pattern established. Weak points noted. Approach route planned. Through minefield gaps. Intelligence provided. Safe passage. Ukrainian engineers marked. Infrared markers. Visible only through night vision. Team navigates. Safely. Toward target. Equipment checked. Suppressed rifles. Subsonic ammunition. Knives. Breaching charges. Thermal optics. Night vision. Communications. Everything. Redundant systems. Backup everything. Failure unacceptable. Mission critical. Team inserts. Darkness. 11 p.m. 6 kilometers from target. Patrol route. Avoiding Russian positions. Known. Mapped. Intelligence driven. Everything planned. Nothing improvised. Professional. Ukrainian SOF. Western trained. NATO standards. Years experience. Combat tested. Best equipped. Best trained. Most motivated. Against Russian conscripts. Poorly trained. Poorly equipped. Poorly motivated. Asymmetry complete. Ukrainian advantage. Overwhelming. In darkness. With technology. With training. With determination. Everything favors. Ukrainian hunters. Russian prey. At 2:47 a.m., hours into insertion, Ukrainian team reaches position. 50 meters from Russian trench. Observation begins. Thermal optics. Counting personnel. 8 visible. 2 sentries. 6 sleeping. Dugout. Underground. Thermal signature. Clear. Team leader decides. Simultaneous assault. Sentries first. Suppressed fire. Then, dugout. Breaching charge. Or hand-to-hand. Silent. Decision silent. No explosions. No noise. Hand signals. Team splits. 2 operators. Each sentry. Knives. Close approach. Final meters. Crawling. Mud. Silence. Absolute. Russian sentries. Unaware. Looking outward. Not behind. Fatal mistake. Ukrainian operators. Rising. Behind sentries. Simultaneously. Knives. Throats. Silent. Complete. Sentries dead. Seconds. No sound. Team advances. Dugout entrance. 6 Russians. Sleeping. Underground. Trapped. Operators enter. Night vision. Russians visible. Sleeping. Unaware. Suppressed weapons. Aimed. Fired. Subsonic ammunition. Quiet. Deadly. 6 Russians. Dead. Sleeping positions. Never woke. Never knew. Ukrainian team. Searching. Documents. Maps. Radios. Computers. Everything. Intelligence collected. Mission complete. Withdrawal begins. Bodies arranged. Positions checked. No evidence. Ukrainian presence. Erased. Team extracts. Through minefield. Through darkness. Through no man's land. Back. Ukrainian lines. Dawn approaching. Mission successful. Complete. 8 Russian soldiers. Dead. Intelligence. Collected. Ukrainian team. Undetected. Unharmed. Successful. Ghost operation. Perfect execution. This is military report. And what happened wasn't heroic battle or dramatic firefight. Was clinical elimination of Russian position through superior technology training and tactics where darkness became Ukrainian advantage and thermal optics enabled invisible approach and silent kills left no survivors or evidence. Where 8 Russian soldiers died without firing shot or raising alarm. Where Ukrainian SOF demonstrated complete dominance in night operations. Where psychological impact exceeded tactical, eliminating 8 soldiers but terrifying thousands. The question isn't whether raid succeeded. Obviously did. Question is how Ukrainian SOF achieved such dominance. What technology and training enable ghost operations? And what night raids reveal about modern special operations where darkness plus technology plus training create asymmetric advantage that conventional forces cannot match? Official Russian statements about night raids. None. Officially. Cannot acknowledge. Ukrainian penetration. To rear positions. Ghost operations. Eliminating soldiers. Silently. Without trace. Narrative impossible. Better. Silence. Ignore. Deny. Unofficially. Russian military blogs. Acknowledge. Ukrainian SOF operating behind lines. Night raids frequent. Positions disappearing. Soldiers found dead. No warning. No defense. Fear everywhere. Frontline reality. Versus official silence. Gap enormous. Russian command knows. Ukrainian capability cannot admit. Publicly cannot counter. Effectively remains vulnerable. Continues suffering. Ukrainian night raids. Ongoing. Successful. Terrifying. Ukrainian statements about SOF operations. Minimal. Operational security. Cannot reveal. Methods. Capabilities. Locations. Everything classified. Occasionally, confirmations. Special operations ongoing. Generic. Enemy positions eliminated. Vague. Videos. Rare. Selective. Demonstrating capability. Without revealing methods. Ukrainian SOF. Silent professionals. Operate quietly. Kill silently. Withdraw invisibly. Media attention. Unwanted. Publicity. Dangerous. Operational security. Paramount. Success. Documented. Internally. Classified. Public. Minimal information. Ukrainian military. Protects sources. Methods. Operators. Everything. Appropriately. Necessarily and successfully. Stay with me. Because the detail that explains SOF dominance, how ghost operations succeed, is going to show you that combination of technology, training, and intelligence creates unstoppable night capability. Technology, thermal optics. See heat signatures. Through darkness. Through vegetation. Through concealment. Everything. Russians visible. Always. Ukrainian operators. Invisible. Thermal camouflage. Heat signature reduction. Advanced. Additionally, night vision. Latest generation. Image intensification. Superior. Russian equivalents. Older. Inferior. Limited. Asymmetry. Complete. Ukrainians see everything. Russians see nothing. Technology advantage, decisive. Training, Western standards. NATO protocols. Special operations courses. American, British, Polish. Everything. Years training. Before war. During war. Continuous. Ukrainian SOF. Elite. Professional. Experienced. Combat tested. Repeatedly. Successfully. Training creates muscle memory, tactical proficiency, team coordination, everything automatic, under stress, under fire, under any conditions. Training, foundation, everything else, built upon. Intelligence, critical. Reconnaissance drones, satellite imagery, signals intelligence, human intelligence, everything. Russian positions, known, mapped, analyzed. Weaknesses, identified. Patterns, observed. Timing, perfect. Routes, planned. Safe passage, confirmed. Intelligence enables everything. Without intelligence, raids impossible. With intelligence, raids inevitable. Ukrainian intelligence, excellent. Supporting SOF, perfectly. Technology plus training plus intelligence, combined. Create unstoppable night capability. Ghost operations. Systematic. Frequent. Successful. Russian forces. Helpless. Terrorized. Demoralized. Ukrainian SOF. Dominant. Lethal. Invisible. Let's establish what Ukrainian night raids actually are. How conducted. Why effective. Ukrainian SOF capability. Multiple units. Special Operations Forces. GUR Military Intelligence. Alpha. Other elements. All elite. All trained. Western standards. Specialized. Night operations. Behind lines operations. Direct action. Everything. Equipment, latest. Western supplied, mostly. Thermal optics. Night vision. Suppressed weapons. Communications. Everything. Best available. Training, extensive. Continuous. NATO courses. Partner nations. American. British. Canadian. Polish. Everyone. Teaching. Supporting. Years accumulated. Experience. Combat. Continuous. Since 2014. Donbass. Before invasion. Since invasion. Everywhere. Combat tested. Battle hardened. Professional. Ukrainian SOF. Among world's best. Regionally. Globally, arguably. Night operations. Specialty. Mastered. Perfected. Demonstrated. Repeatedly. Night raid planning and intelligence. Weeks preparation. Typical. Target selection. Intelligence-driven. High value. Command posts. Artillery positions. Electronic warfare. Observation posts. Logistics nodes. Everything supporting Russian combat. Reconnaissance. Drones. Thermal imaging. Day. Night. Continuous. Positions mapped. Personnel counted. Rotations observed. Patterns identified. Weaknesses noted. Satellite imagery. Confirms. Updates. Verifies. Signals intelligence. Communications monitored. Frequencies identified. Patterns analyzed. Timing coordinated. Human intelligence. Sometimes. Local sources. Partisans. Resistance. Information provided. Everything combined. Complete picture. Target analyzed. Raid planned. Routes selected. Timing determined. Contingencies prepared. Everything. Professional. Thorough. Detailed. Ukrainian planning. Meticulous. Intelligence driven. Risk minimized. Success maximized. Raid execution and tactics. Team size, 4 to 12 operators. Mission dependent. Insertion. Night. Darkness. Covert. Multiple methods. Foot patrol. Vehicle insertion. Helicopter sometimes. Mission dependent. Approach. Slow. Careful. Silent. Terrain following. Avoiding observation. Avoiding detection. Hours. Sometimes. Crawling. Through mud. Through cold. Through everything. Discipline. Absolute. Silence. Complete. Final approach. Meters. From target. Observation. Thermal optics. Counting. Confirming. Timing. Everything. Assault. Simultaneous. Coordinated. Violent. Swift. Sentries eliminated. Silently. Knives. Suppressed weapons. Main position. Assaulted. Suppressed fire. Grenades sometimes. Hand-to-hand. Everything. Speed. Critical. Violence. Necessary. Surprise. Absolute. Completion. Minutes. Intelligence collection. Documents. Electronics. Prisoners sometimes. Everything valuable. Withdrawal. Immediate. Pre-planned route. Exfiltration. Before dawn. Before discovery. Before response. Ukrainian lines. Safety. Mission complete. Raid execution professional. Violent. Swift. Successful. Russian vulnerability and countermeasures. Technology gap. Significant. Thermal optics. Night vision. Everything. Russian equipment. Older generation. Less capable. Less available. Limited issue. Elite units maybe. Regular forces. Minimal. Night. Blind mostly. Ukrainian SOF. See everything. Asymmetry decisive. Training gap. Enormous. Russian training. Conscripts. Minimal. Poor. Contract soldiers. Better. Still insufficient. Versus Ukrainian SOF. Elite. Western trained. Years experience. No comparison. Russian countermeasures. Attempted. Increased sentries. More patrols. Better lighting. Thermal camouflage. Everything tried. Insufficient. Ukrainian SOF. Adapts. Overcomes. Continues. Successfully. Russian forces. Remain vulnerable. Terrified. Demoralized. Sleep. Impossible. Safety. Non-existent. Morale. Degraded. All from night raids. Ukrainian SOF. Systematic. Frequent. Psychological. Impact. Beyond tactical. Strategic. Demoralizing Russian forces. Everywhere. Continuously. Psychological and strategic effects. Tactical. 8 soldiers killed. Intelligence collected. Position eliminated. Significant. Tactical level. But psychological. Hundreds affected. Fear spreads. Stories circulate. Positions disappearing. Soldiers found dead. No warning. No defense. Everyone vulnerable. Sleep impossible. Sentries terrified. Shooting shadows. Morale collapses. Combat effectiveness. Degraded. Fear. Debilitating. Ukrainian night raids. Psychological warfare. As much as physical elimination. Strategic. Russian forces. Diverted. Rear security. Increased patrols. More sentries. Resources consumed. Defending against Ukrainian SOF. Instead of fighting frontline war. Force multiplication. Ukrainian SOF. Small numbers. 100 operators maybe. Diverting thousands of Russians. Rear security. Strategic effect. Disproportionate. To numbers. To casualties. Everything. Night raids. Force multipliers. Psychological weapons. Strategic assets. Ukrainian SOF. Leveraged. Perfectly. 3 questions from the beginning. Time to answer them. How did Ukrainian SOF achieve such dominance? Technology. Training. Intelligence. All superior. Technology. Thermal optics. Night vision. Latest generation. See everything. In darkness. Russians. Blind comparatively. Older equipment. Limited availability. Asymmetry decisive. Training. Western standards. NATO protocols. Elite selection. Continuous training. Years accumulated. Combat experience. Everything. Professional versus Russian conscripts. Minimal training. Poor motivation. No comparison. Intelligence. Excellent. Reconnaissance drones. Satellites. Signals. Everything. Russian positions. Known. Mapped. Analyzed. Raids. Planned perfectly. Executed professionally. Technology plus training plus intelligence. Combined. Created. Dominance. Complete. Darkness. Ukrainian advantage. Russian nightmare. SOF operations. Unstoppable. demonstrated repeatedly. What technology and training enable ghost operations? Thermal optics, critical. See heat signatures. Through darkness. Through concealment. Russians visible. Always. Ukrainians invisible. Thermal camouflage. Heat reduction. Advanced technology. Night vision, latest generation. Superior capability. See clearly. Darkness. No problem. Suppressed weapons. Silent kills. No noise. No alarm. Subsonic ammunition. Quiet. Deadly. Training. NATO standards. Special operations courses. Partner nations. Everything. Creates. Tactical proficiency. Team coordination. Muscle memory. Under stress. Everything automatic. Professional. Additionally, intelligence integration. Planning. Preparation. Everything. Ghost operations require technology. Training. Intelligence. Planning. Execution. Everything. Professional. Ukrainian SOF. Has everything. Executes perfectly. Ghost operations result. Systematic. Successful. Terrifying. What do night raids reveal about modern special operations? That technology plus training create asymmetric advantage. That darkness plus thermal optics equal dominance. That professional SOF versus conscripts equals massacre. Ukrainian night raids demonstrate modern special operations effectiveness against conventional forces. Asymmetry. Complete. Technology enables. Training exploits. Intelligence guides. Results. Devastating. Psychological effects. Beyond tactical. Fear. Weapon. As powerful as bullets. Russian forces. Demoralized. Terrified. Ineffective. Diverted. All from night raids. Small numbers. Ukrainian SOF. Strategic impact. Disproportionate. Future warfare. Special operations. Increasingly important. Night operations. Increasingly dominant. Technology. Increasingly decisive. Ukrainian SOF. Demonstrated. Perfected. Teaching. Global military studying. Learning. Adapting. Night raids. Ukrainian model. Modern warfare. Future warfare. Special operations. Dominant. The lesson from Ukrainian night raids is that modern special operations forces with superior technology and training achieve devastating asymmetric advantage in night operations. Ukrainian SOF demonstrated thermal optics plus night vision plus training plus intelligence equals dominance. Complete. 8 operators eliminate 8 Russians. Silently. Invisibly. Without resistance. Without alarm. Ghost operation. Perfect execution. Psychological impact. Beyond tactical. Hundreds terrified. Thousands affected. Morale degraded. Combat effectiveness reduced. Resources diverted. Rear security. Instead of frontline combat. Force multiplication enormous. Small SOF numbers. Large strategic impact. Technology critical. Thermal optics. See everything. Darkness. No problem. Russians. Blind. Old equipment. Limited. Asymmetry. Decisive. Training critical. Western standards. NATO protocols. Years accumulated. Combat experience. Professional. Versus Russian conscripts. No comparison. Intelligence critical. Drones. Satellites. Signals. Everything. Positions. Known. Weaknesses. Identified. Raids. Planned perfectly. Executed professionally. Ukrainian SOF. World class. Night operations. Mastered. Russian forces. Terrified. Helpless. Demoralized. Modern warfare lesson. Special operations. Technology enabled. Training perfected. Intelligence guided. Asymmetric advantage. Devastating. Ukrainian night raids. Demonstrated. Perfectly. Teaching globally. Future warfare. SOF dominant. Night operations critical. Technology decisive. Ukrainian model. Study. Learn. Apply. This is Military Report. Ukrainian SOF night raids define future. Special operations. Night operations. Technology enabled. February 18th. Example: 8 operators. Russian position. Eliminated. Silently. Completely. No survivors. No evidence. Ghost operation. Hours planning. Intelligence-driven. Drone reconnaissance. Satellite imagery. Everything analyzed. Weak points identified. Approach. Planned. Timing. Perfect. Team inserts. Darkness. Silent movement. Through minefield. Intelligence marked. Safe passage. Approach. Slow. Careful. Professional. Thermal optics. Russian positions. Visible. Heat signatures. Clear. Sentries counted. Sleeping soldiers located. Everything known. Assault coordinated. Simultaneous. Violent. Swift. Sentries eliminated. Knives. Silent. Sleeping soldiers killed. Suppressed fire. Quiet. Deadly. All dead. Seconds. Minutes. Intelligence collected. Documents. Electronics. Everything. Withdrawal. Immediate. Pre-planned. Safe. Ukrainian lines. Dawn. Mission complete. Perfect. 8 Russians. Dead. Ukrainian operators unharmed. Undetected. Successful. Technology. Decisive. Thermal optics. Night vision is superior. Russian equivalents. Inferior. Limited. Asymmetry. Complete. Training. Critical. NATO standards. Western courses. Years accumulated. Professional. Versus. Russian conscripts. No comparison. Intelligence. Excellent. Drones. Satellites. Everything. Positions. Mapped. Timing. Perfect. Raids. Inevitable. Ukrainian SOF. Dominant. Night operations. Systematic. Frequent. Successful. Psychological. Devastating. Russian forces terrified. Demoralized. Ineffective. Resources diverted. Rear security. Strategic. Force multiplication. Small numbers. Large impact. Future warfare. Demonstrated. Ukrainian night raids. SOF operations. Technology enabled. Training perfected. Dominant. Study. Learn. Future is here. Subscribe to Military Report. Because understanding future warfare requires understanding Ukrainian SOF night operations. Technology enabled. Training perfected. Intelligence guided. February 18th. Example: 8 operators. Russian observation post. Eliminated. Completely. Silently. No survivors. Technology. Thermal optics. See heat signatures. Darkness irrelevant. Night vision. Latest generation. Superior capability. Russians visible always. Ukrainians invisible. Thermal camouflage. Advanced. Asymmetry decisive. Suppressed weapons. Silent kills. Subsonic ammunition. Quiet. Deadly. Training. NATO standards. Special operations courses. American. British. Polish. Everything. Years accumulated. Combat experience. Continuous. Professional. Team. Coordination. Tactical proficiency. Everything. Automatic. Under stress. Perfect execution. Intelligence. Critical foundation. Drone reconnaissance. Days prior. Positions. Mapped. Personnel. Counted. Patterns. Observed. Weaknesses. Identified. Satellite imagery. Confirmed. Updated. Signals intelligence. Communications monitored. Timing coordinated. Everything. Execution professional. Approach silent. Slow. Careful. Hours. Crawling. Mud. Discipline absolute. Assault violent. Swift. Coordinated. Sentries eliminated. Knives. Silent. Sleeping soldiers. Killed. Suppressed fire. All dead. Minutes. Intelligence collection. Documents. Electronics. Withdrawal. Immediate. Safe. Successful. Russian forces. Helpless. Technology gap. Training gap. Everything. Cannot defend. Cannot detect. Cannot prevent. Ukrainian SOF, dominant, systematic operations, frequent raids, psychological warfare, fear, weapon, morale, degraded, resources, diverted, strategic, force multiplication, future warfare, SOF-centric, night operations, dominant, technology decisive, Ukrainian model, demonstrated, perfected, study night raids, understand future, technology enables, training perfects, intelligence guides, success inevitable, Ukrainian SOF, night operations, future warfare, today, real operations, real tactics, real consequences. Stay informed.